Okay.
Video's going? Okay. All right. So the first thing you have to understand as a conductor, this is like day one, okay? Is I literally just have the student start against the wall. So can you hold it to the side, Trey? Just like hold it up here just momentarily. Okay, so what we need to learn how to do is we need to learn how to paint a straight line. Now what this means is, look, I don't want my hand doing this. You see how it's curving back here? I actually want to make sure that my hand is brushing and staying directly the same distance from the wall. Now, what am I looking for? I'm looking to make sure my palm at all times is facing down. The next thing I'm looking for is I'm never leading with my fingers, right? Instead, my fingers are kind of like the hairs of a paintbrush. They drag behind. So that's number one. We also want to move sideways this way. When I'm moving sideways, again, I'm keeping the distance the same. Notice I'm not going with the natural arc of my body. I'm actually keeping it in the same plane. This is really important. So that looks like this in the air. Again, so that means that when you're actually raising your arm, we actually extend the arm slightly. So we're not doing this.
Yeah.
Okay? What this does is it gives us a nice clean canvas. And that's what you want to imagine, that you're painting on a canvas. So now, let's talk about the frame. This is the next important thing.
Oh yeah, we've never mentioned a frame ever.
Okay, so this is what I'm saying, you need to know this. Now, what is the frame based off? The frame is based off of your eyes and your chest, roughly. The goal is this, it's as simple as this. When you're conducting, the person you're looking at and cueing should be able to see your eyes and your hands at the same time. That's the key. So we don't want to be out over here. We don't want to be out over here. Everything needs to be in frame. So if I'm conducting here, I'm going to be turning my canvas with myself. Everything has to exist within this canvas. So it looks like this, roughly, for me. Okay? This is something like my frame. The frame should not exceed the width of your shoulders, ever.
Never heard it.
Ever. Okay? Well, you're going to hear it the only time you hear it. Okay?
Thanks, Bob.
Now, the next thing you need to understand is the center median line. The downbeat always falls along this axis, this vertical axis. Okay? Always down the center line. So basically, that's right down through my nose and through my sternum. Okay? So my downbeat is always here. Always here. My side beats are always at my shoulders, which is here at my frame. You see? So this is one of the ictus. This is another one of the ictus. They never extend. You can't have an ictus outside of the frame, otherwise it doesn't work. So with this, the next thing to understand is the plane of the ictus. Yeah. The plane of the ictus can change, but when you first train it, it really should be roughly here. So kind of mid-chest. Because again, I want to make sure when I'm looking at you, you can feel the ictus. If my ictus is down here, it's out now. Now you're not feeling that. So this is about as low as I can go with the ictus for neutral ictus. So that's really important to understand, which is why I placed it this high. So when I'm conducting now, it looks like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're out here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Over here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, if I am empty-handed, my tips of my fingers must be placed at that point of the ictus. So now it's not my hand that is centered line, but right where I'm imagining the point of focus, which for me is between my thumb and index finger. 1, here's 2, 2, here's 3, 3, and back to 4, 4. And I generally place 4 back here. It's okay if it's off to the right a little bit. Okay? If you're holding a baton, it is the tip of the baton that now is placed at the ictus. Okay? Now, generally speaking, you want to start off with your palm always facing down. However, when you're holding a baton, we want to have a slight elevation in the actual angle of the baton. It makes it much more clear and engaging. Same with your hand. We don't want to conduct with a flat hand, but you want to show just a little bit of your hand, just a little bit of your palm as you're conducting. So the difference looks like this. If my hand is completely flat, 1, 2, 3, 4, versus this slight change in angle. Now look at the difference. 1, 2, 3, 4. Huge difference from just that small angle. Same with the baton. If my baton is flat, 1, 2, it's just awkward looking. If I raise the angle, same position for the ictus, center, shoulder, shoulder, center. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Improves the visual aspect of it. Now, how to learn how to do this practically. Step number 1, we talked about. Doing the brush motions, making sure that you can maintain a flat plane. It's good to have a frame in front of you. And what I like to do is take all of the verticality out of the interbeat movements. So what does this mean? For the downbeat, I'll vertically come up and back down. Notice you go very high. Okay, so one of the big tendencies is for people not to do a high enough preparatory motion for the downbeat. 1. Then take away all vertical motion and just go to 2 and stop there. What we're trying to do is train some muscle memory to know exactly where that second beat is, the third beat, and back to center, 4th. So that looks like this now. 1, and I just pause. 2, pause. 3, pause. 4, pause. Getting that equal distance. 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is a great warm-up. You can do this empty-handed and with a baton. 1, 2, 3, 4. When going to 3, you want to make sure that you lead with the elbow, the whole arm, so that you're not doing this. 1, 2, like this, where the elbow is just kind of stuck to the side, but rather the whole arm opens out. So notice how my elbow is outside of my frame. The only thing that needs to be in frame is the ictus, in this case, the tip of the baton. So it looks like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, or like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? All right, so that's really important to understand. Once you accomplish a consistent pattern, and the 3 basically just doesn't have this side, right? So you're doing 1, 2, 3 like this. 1, 2, 3. 2 is really just 1, 2. Once you understand the basic patterns here, then we can add the vertical element back in. And what it looks like is this. When we're moving from one beat to another, we're going to have an arch to there. Okay, so if I'm going from 1 to 2, and you can look over here, it'll be a little easier. Now this is really important. Your arch should be such that the peak of the arch, I didn't draw this right, should be, the peak of the arch should divide perfectly in half, right? If I'm going from 2 to 3, it's going to look more like this. Like this. The peak of the arch aligns in the midway point of the motion. The other thing is this, when you practice this, the height of your motions, of your arches, should be equal. Should be equal. This will develop control. So for example, that's going to look like this. So I'll do it with the board first. 1, small arch, 2, small arch, 3, small arch, 4. But the peak, the ceiling of my motion is always at the same plane. So you start low, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you can get higher. 1, 2, 3, 4, even higher. 1, 2, 3, 4. What we're doing is we're just training to make sure that the height of the motion is consistent. 1, why? Because we want to have control over our gestures. And empty-handed and baton, you should always practice both. Now, once you have gained control over this, you're nearly there. The next step is to introduce what I call counter movements. Now this is where it really gets very interesting. Okay, so with counter movements, let's say that this is beat 1, and I'll just do a 4 pattern just because it's very good for demonstrations. Beat 2, this is a little too high for me actually. Lower that, so it's actually where I need it. So beat 1, beat 2, 3, and I'll place beat 4 just off to the right of 1. Okay? So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just think preparation for each beat. The preparation is always in the opposing direction. By the way, all these techniques work for choral and instrumental conducting. This is universal. Okay, so if I'm going to beat 1, that means eventually I'm going to go down. My preparation is in the opposing direction, which means I'm going this way. You see that?
Wow.
So that's my concentration. I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to go to beat 1. That means I'm going to go move the opposing direction, which looks like this. Up. From there, I come to 1. Okay, so I prepared. Now, I end up going back down. Boom, I've made it to 1. Here's beat 2. My preparatory movement is in the opposite direction of beat 2. I need to eventually go left to 2. So which direction am I going to go on the preparation? To the right. Okay, so from here I'm down beat 1. I go this way. And then I come back to beat 2. Now, here's the cool thing. There is no limit. There is no limit to how large your preparation can be, the counter movement. This is where the magic happens. Notice I've taken away the verticality of 1 to 2.
Yeah.
Okay, so we do this again, just to break into small pieces without that. So again, here's preparation at 1, counter movement, which is up to 1. Now 2 is here for me. Counter movement is going to be off direction like this. Counter movement to 2. Boom. And notice I can move all the way out. This is where gestures can look very large and still work. So I'll show it again. Here's 1, counter movement to 2, or 1 counter movement to 2, or even bigger, 1 counter movement to 2. But 2 never changes. You see that? That's the key.
Oh, why is 2 in the center this time?
It's not.
Oh, it's not. Oh, this is
I'm
just
rotating.
all the counter movement.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
I'm at my shoulder.
Oh, this is just the angle I'm
It's
at.
the angle.
Oh, I see.
Right, I'm facing the camera.
Oh.
You'll see in the camera. Okay, so now I've done counter movement to 2. Where's my counter movement going to be to 3?
To the right.
Well,
Left.
Or
to the left
counter
first.
movement to the left.
Counter movement to the left, and again, there's no limit to how far I can go. And I'm going to counter movement all the way to 3. You see? Which looks like this. Counter movement to 1. Counter movement to 2. Counter movement to 3. Notice my ictus must be in the same place. Counter movement to 4. Okay, can we all try that one time together? Let's see how it looks. Okay, I'll reverse it. Okay, counter movement, I'll mirror you to 1. Now big counter movement to 2, counter movement to 3, and counter movement to 4. Beautiful. Great. Now, how do we add? This is, like I said, this gets super exciting. All right, so how do we integrate the verticality? Okay, there's literally only 2 more things for you to learn with patterns, for you to have a beautiful expressive pattern. 2 more things. Okay. Now, normally I just teach 1 element per week, and then you just train that for a whole week to make sure it's perfect.
Imagine.
Okay.
At that time.
All right. No, there's time. You master the basics, and then the advanced stuff is easy. There's nothing advanced about conducting. Okay, so boom, I get to 1. All right. It's going to look something like this. Now, for me to get to 2, now look what happens. The counter movement is rising. See that? And then I come down to 2. Like this. The counter movement is rising. And then I come down to 3. The counter movement is rising. And I come down to 4. But notice the height is equal. So what does this look like? All right, empty-handed looks like this. Counter movement to 1. Counter movement to 2. Counter movement to 3. And counter movement to 4. For the camera, counter movement to 1. Counter movement to 2. Counter movement to 3. And counter movement to 4. With a baton, like this. Now it's the ictus. To 1, counter movement to 2, counter movement to 3, and counter movement to 4. Looks like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Without the pauses, it looks like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we have something that's going to be familiar. But that's how we get here. Question?
I know for some conductings, people usually put 4 in the top.
Not a great idea. It's
really?
not clear. Just not clear. There is a technique for conducting where you can place the beats on top. If 4 is on top, everything else is on top. And I've used that before. But that's really distinctly an orchestral technique and not something you'll use as a choral conductor.
Doesn't it, what's it called? I guess like for our brains or whatever, shouldn't it be more like, you know, like we got the 1, 2, 3, and it's 4 and 1. Is that basically what that top is? Is that
Yeah,
the and beat?
the and is there.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay.
Oh.
But
But it's more of a prep for 1.
But really, this is the and. This is the and. This is the and as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. So all of those
Yeah,
are
yeah.
tips.
So you can
of the
think that.
art.
Yeah, that's fine. Just gonna think. If you were thinking that,
Mhm.
and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And this for the hand too. Okay. So I told you there was one more thing. Here's the one more thing. It comes back to the palm and the wrist. I said earlier you should start with keeping your palm facing downwards. However, you can apply a more advanced tool, which is forearm rotation. Forearm rotation is supination and pronation. Okay. Now here's the simple rule to make it work. Your palm must always face the ictus that you are going to. The palm must face the ictus you're going to. If I'm going to 1, my palm will be down, facing down. Here's 1. If I'm going to 2, watch this. The moment I leave 1, my palm faces 2. To 2. The moment I leave 2, my palm faces 3. The moment I leave 3, my palm faces 4. And then the moment I leave 4, I'm back to facing 1. Looks like this. Okay, I'll show it to the camera first. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's a turn. It's sudden. It's not gradual. Otherwise, this will not look right. With a baton, it's even less exaggerated. You can do this, but not as much. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. One more thing. Remember what we talked about with brushing the board. The hand lags, and then lags. There's a switch that happens. Here, my wrist is in what's called extension. And then it's up here. See that? Okay. Same thing happens here. If I'm going down to 1, going to 2, see the change that happens? Okay. So the moment you change directions, the wrist must respond as well. And again, that's an instantaneous movement. That covers the pattern. Does anyone have any questions on the pattern? Okay. Now.
Oh, can you? Oh, sorry.
No, for like, I was just like, for when you're doing the switching, how does your elbow look?
Okay, I'll show you so you can see. Okay. So I'm going from here. See? Yeah. Okay. The elbow should always be elevated. You should have space here. You should have space, like you're floating. Okay. Now, let's talk about size of the pattern and how this pattern can change. So far, we're just talking right hand, but this really can apply if you're mirroring your pattern, which is perfectly fine, especially for choral conducting. Okay, you can shrink your pattern down. Okay, that inherently changes the feeling of it. So now I'm really doing a minimal pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4. So size changes the affect. You can elevate the whole plane or lower it. If I elevate it, look at the effect. 1, 2, 3. It's even lighter, right? Okay. You can lower it, which is going to deepen it. And you can go as low as maybe your navel or so. Okay. 1, 2. This is a little bit easier to do as a if you're on easily visible by everyone on a riser or something like that, a podium. Okay. So that's one way. Another way that you can change this is distance from the body. Okay, so if I'm conducting, by the way, so your neutral position should be nearly extended and just back some where you're slightly bent. Your neutral position should not be here. Okay, that's one of the most common mistakes that less trained conductors do, is they conduct too close to their body. Okay, here, you see? Living here, that's not where you want to live. You want to live here. So you're here. 1, 2, 3, I'm just extended. 1, 2, this is your neutral position. Here. That way you have somewhere to go. Your pattern can actually change distance as you conduct a pattern. For example, I want to conduct a diminuendo. Watch this. Without any left hand. 1, 2, 3, 4. See that? Which looks like this to you as the choir. 1, 2, 3. You see? So the modifications can happen during the pattern. You can even change the elevation of the plane of the ictus during a pattern. I could elevate it. I might start low. 1, 2, 3. That shows a very different type of diminuendo that lightens. Or the opposite. 1, 2, 3, 4. Where 4 is much lower. So understand that what I showed you here about the consistency of the plane of the ictus is to make sure that you have mastery over this, not that it never changes.
Yeah.
When I showed you the height of your pattern, it's not permanent. You can change it. It's about having control and mastery so that when you make a decision to do something, it's intentional. Yes?
How would these techniques fit into like a 2 or 3 pattern?
Yeah.
Same
I was gonna
thing.
ask about that, yeah.
Same thing. So all of this coincides. So you can change the size. 1, 2, 3. If you're talking about the counter movement, watch this. Counter movement to 1. Now 2's here. Where am I going to move to counter move? Yeah, this way. 2, counter to 3. 3 center now. 1, 2, 3. On the 2, watch this. Counter movement to 1, same direction, always the same. 1. 2 is still the same place. Counter movement to 2. So it looks like this. 1, 2, 1, 2. Follow?
I just know that for like, I know it's like some conductors that do like, yeah.
That's a sloppy technique. I know a lot of conductors do that.
I say it again.
Like when they would just do like 1, 2.
Yeah, it's sloppy. It's just sloppy,
So it's
in my opinion.
1, 2.
Yeah, much clearer, much clearer. And so you'll see a lot of just weird techniques. One of the most common techniques I see choral conductors mess up, good choral conductors, is they swoop up on the upbeat like this. 1, 2, 3, swoop. There's no ictus. It's not clear. So 1, 2, 3, you know? Or they'll do this with the baton. 1, 2, 3, you know? Where's the beat? I don't know, actually. 1, 2, 3, keep it clear.
Yeah.
Feel the difference? Okay, so watching a good conductor is helpful, yes?
How do you feel about like smoothing out the beats and kind of breaking away from like
Yeah,
that?
yeah, that's what this is for. So check this out. So, okay, I didn't talk about this. There are 3 different ways to demonstrate an ictus. Okay, 3 different ways. Number 1, pausing the motion. That's why in the first exercise I had you do this. Watch this. Stop. Okay, that's one way to emphasize. We do this most famously on 2 occasions. A cutoff, stop. And also the articulation of syncopation, okay, that Dr. Elizabeth Green talks about, okay, which is this. You want singers to come on the end of a beat, like this, watch. If I want you to come on the end of 1, I'm going to pause on the previous beat, which is beat 4. So watch this. 1, 2, 3, pause, and. Watch again. 1, 2, 3, pause, and 1, and. There is no movement. You can do this on the end of 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, pause, 2, and. See that? Okay, that's a little bit more advanced technique. Okay, this exists. Elizabeth Green talks about it in her book, The Modern Conductor. So that's how you indicate on the and. Those are the two situations where we'll emphasize with a stop. That's cutoffs, or when you want a sharp break, and when you're doing the articular syncopation. The most important way to understand how to create an ictus is this, change of direction. So 1, you can pause. 2 is change in direction. So for example, if I'm moving in this direction, this is my ictus right here, where I change directions. It looks like this. Change, 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 change in direction. Why is this important? Because it can allow us to create a smoother affect. Let's say I want it to be really smooth. I might conduct like this. 1, change, change, change. See that? I did it very delicately, but the ictus is still there. And the third and final way to demonstrate an ictus, used when you're demonstrating a very strong ictus, is what we call co-contraction. Okay? Co-contraction. What is co-contraction? Co-contraction is when you flex muscles of 2 opposing muscle groups. So that's like the bicep and the tricep. These are the flexors and the extensors. This happens when I co-contract. I'm not going to move at all. I'm just going to contract my bicep, tricep, and then the muscles of my forearm, and watch what happens here. Momentary flexion. See that? That's co-contraction. So what does that look like? If I'm doing a pattern, this is me just using the second change in direction, like this. Change, 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 change. But what if I want stronger beats? Now, co-contraction. Feel the difference? Much stronger. What did I not do? This is what most conductors do, even professional conductors. They accelerate to the beat. Okay, they'll do this. Accelerate. Okay, there's some problems to this. One problem is you can't see the hand anymore for a moment. It's accelerated to too high of a speed. And that means that it creates a major issue, which is that the ictus is less predictable. So I don't want to do this. Accelerate, okay? But instead, look at my speed. The speed can be slow, but you have still a clear ictus. I'm using co-contraction. You can still feel the weight of that pulse. And this is how you can really keep that. So these are the 3 ways to emphasize an ictus, okay? So this is really the keys here, okay? These are the 3 techniques that will help you master that. Questions so far? Okay, this is a literally conducting crash course. Okay, so next thing you need to understand. There's only 2 more things to understand. Simple, 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 and that's it. Cutoffs,
Yes.
cues, okay, which also includes breaths. All right, so here we go. The cutoff gesture is always some form of this.
Circle.
Okay? Notice my arms are coming up around the side, above my head, and down around. Okay. Now, why do I say some form of this? Because that's all you need to know. The cutoff can look like this. I might come around, and then I'll pause. Okay? A typical cutoff gesture, okay? So they must always be in this direction. Right hand, left hand, okay? A very typical cutoff gesture, if you have time, if there's a rest following it, would be to end with a horizontal portion and end on a pause, like we talked about. Okay, so you do your circle, horizontal, pause. So it looks like this. Stop. Or stop. With a baton, looks like this. Stop. The other way to demonstrate the cutoff. That's very common. Same thing, but you use change in direction, wherever you're going next, which can be in any of these directions, depending on where you want to be, okay? So what does that look like? Let's say I'm giving a cutoff on beat 4. I'm gonna start my cutoff gesture on beat 3. Watch this. That means whenever I get to beat 3, I'm gonna start coming around. Okay, I'm gonna break it for you down. Here's 1, 2, I get to 3, cutoff gesture begins. Ah, 4. See that? So that means my cutoff ends up really high. Because my beat 3 is here, cutoff 4 is up here. Well, where am I going to rebound to get to 1? Counter movement.
Down, up, or up.
Right? So now we'll look at this. I'll put it together. Here's 1, here's 2. I get to beat 3, cutoff gesture, up and around. To 4, rebound to 1. So the measure looks like this. 1, 2, cut off, breathe, 1.
Wow.
I know.
Do that one more time.
Yeah.
Simple.
And then
okay?
can you show us the different other?
Yeah, I'm about to show you.
other pieces?
1, 2, cut off gesture, 4, 1. It's on video, so you get to see it. It's not about memorizing the pattern. It's about understanding the method behind the pattern. Do you understand what I'm doing? I'm just doing my cutoff gesture, which is this. I'm saying, come everyone, come. Now stop. Okay, or come, prepare. Now it works on every single beat. Let's test that. We cut off in 4, let's cut off in 3, which means I'm gonna do my cutoff gesture on 2. This is a tricky one.
And this is in 3/4 or just the third beat?
I'm just doing it on 4 because,
Okay.
you know, if you can do 4, you can do 3.
Okay.
Okay, the 3 doesn't have the left side, that's why I use 4, because you use the full range.
Yeah.
The 4 meter covers everything, including 6/8 time, 7/8 time, doesn't matter. Now, this is very important. You ready for this? The cutoff gesture must occur on the right side of the body for the right hand and the left side of the body for the left hand. Must occur.
Okay.
That means if your hand happens to be here, you gotta get it over here. Otherwise, it's not gonna look right. And I'll show you what I mean. Let's do it right first. We're gonna cut off on 3, which means I need to initiate my cutoff gesture on beat 2. What does this look like? 1, here's beat 2, 2, cutoff gesture. I've got to get my hand all the way back here to cut off here. You see that? Watch again, watch again.
Okay.
I'll do it with my hand this time. 1, 2, cutoff gesture, hello, cut off. You're going, gotta go this way.
But you're right, so 1, 2, 3.
That's it. Now, what happens if I start the cutoff gesture here on beat 2 and I stay here? That's not gonna work.
Yeah.
You see that? Yes, it'll look like this. 1, 2. Now I'm out of position.
Yeah.
So we always end up here. Watch. 1, cut off to here. And then this is beat 3, which means my preparation for 4 is gonna be which direction? 4 is here.
What?
Yes,
Yeah.
opposite of my destination.
Oh, retracing it. That's what, what's it called? Deanna Joseph was teaching about like retracing the beat before.
Yeah, so now watch this. What does that look like in the full pattern? I'll talk as I go. Beat 1, beat 2 is normal, cutoff gesture, here we go. 3, rebound to 4. Counter movement to 4. One more time. For the camera. 1, beat 2, cutoff gesture to 3, counter movement to 4, and 1. What does that look like smoothly? 1, counter movement, prepare, 4, 1, counter movement, 4, 1. And with the baton,
Wow.
1, cut off, breathe, 4, 1, 2, cut off, 4, 1. What does it look like if we're cutting off? So we just cut off on 4, we cut off on 3, which leaves 2 and 1. What does it look like to cut off on 2? When do we start the cutoff gesture? 1. On 1. So let's give a full bar. 1, 2, 3, 4, cut off, 2. See that?
Yes.
Now I'm gonna want my cutoff to be pretty close to my center line,
Okay.
or slightly to the right. I don't wanna be over here, because B3 is gonna be here. So watch again. 1, 2, 3, 4, cut off, 2. 3's here. Where do I need a counter movement?
Left.
Yeah. 3. And back to normal. So the full gesture looks like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, cut off, 2, 3, 4. With the baton, it looks like this. I'm doing it for the camera. 1, 2, 3, 4, cut off, 2, 3, 4. And for y'all, looks like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, cut off, 2, 3, 4. That leaves just one more, y'all.
Number 1.
Cut off on 1, which means we start the gesture on
4.
Let's do it. Same principle. 1, 2, 3. I'm on 4 now. Now this is a fun one because we just came here. We make the circle, and 1 is cut off here. Rebound to 2 this way. Opposite of 2. Did you get that? Watch again, bless you. 1, 2, 3, cut off, 1, 2. Full gesture looks like this. 1, 2, 3, cut off, 1, 2, 3, 4. And again with the baton for the camera. 1, 2, 3, cut off, 1, 2, 3, 4. Any questions? And I know you're gonna have to review that on video, because usually I have to break this down and have students practice it slowly. Remember, the cutoff is always this way. Okay. So that's how you do cutoffs with the right hand. Left hand cutoffs are easy. Why? Because you don't have to connect the pattern. So it can just be this. Hello, stop, come here, stop, right? Or prepare to come again.
Would you say for choral conducting, have you ever changed what you do with your hands for cutoffs depending on that consonant or vowel?
Oh yeah, 100%. I use my fingers a lot for
Yeah.
conducting. So again, this is a bit more of an advanced technique. Your hand says a lot of information. It's something that we can talk about. So I mentioned this earlier on, being engaging, showing just a little palm. If I show a lot like this, what does it tell you?
Stop.
Or
Or
Hold.
quiet now.
quiet.
Yeah.
Okay? So that's something. If I open my hands a little bit, what does that tell you?
Light.
Light.
Gentle, yeah.
Gentle. See? That affects the cutoffs as well. So for example, I want to close consonant. I'll actually close my fingers, like a hum. Okay? 1, look, I'll show you how I do that. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't stop the movement because I want sound to continue. You see? A lot of cool tricks. And I show exactly when that's happening. If I want a light t, I'll show that with my fingers. T. You see? If I want a really quick light S. Even if a choir is having too much S or it's too long, I'll do this. See what it is? Like it's hot. I'll back off of it. So it looks like this. 1, 2, s. You see? Yeah, I'll come off of it very quickly.
Yeah.
So you can use these visual cues to help guide your choirs to sing more in the way that you're imagining. Okay, we covered a lot of stuff. What didn't we cover? We didn't cover the left hand. We didn't cover left hand gestures for dynamics. Well, those are pretty simple. Number 1, palm out. It's rising or coming
Oh, we
forward,
know about this one.
or both, or both.
Yeah.
And then softer back here, all this is possible.
Is there different ways to demonstrate? Because I know some people
Yeah.
get confused with this sometimes.
That's why I prefer to show it in the pattern. You know, this is a little bit, if I'm showing this, if I'm in train and all I can do is just keep a steady pattern here, this is my dynamic. This tells me very little, right? This is not very expressive. I would prefer to show it with the pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's much more expressive. Okay, that's why I showed you this.
Yeah.
Because this enables you to do that later. okay? The other thing we didn't talk about is cues. Cues, all right, real quick. Breath is always the opposite of the cutoff. Cutoffs were, you know that? And breaths is the opposite. Up, down, and back in. This gesture. Or this. It's the same gesture. Now this is important because it's any derivation of any of these things. I want a breath, it can be this. Right? Breathe that way. It can be this. Breathe this way. So sometimes you'll see me give a breath like this. Right? It's the same gesture. I've just modified it to give a certain affect. Do you understand? Mm-hmm. Practice with the mirror. And then you can kind of explore these. Share that video with everyone. Try.
Yep.
Like and subscribe.